I'm sorry, man. This is. Let's wait for a few more people to join. Oh my God, I hate this. This I have to have the worst live streams on the fucking internet. I wish I had a hardline connection here, man. I just don't. When I'm at home, I got perfect. Hey, what's up, Jonathan? Let's give a couple of minutes for the guys to join back. Hopefully, um, I had to reboot everything. I'm hoping it gets better. I don't know why this thing is so bad, man. You pay fucking 85, 90 bucks a month for this fucking service. It sucks. Hey, man, thanks for coming back. Oh my God, I can't tell you guys how pissed off I get. I hate this. It's so unprofessional and shitty. What a low fucking quality live stream. Yeah, this thing is. It looks like it's gonna be a problem all night. Come on, man. Why is it doing this? It is all over the place. I'm not rebooting again. It's just I rebooted my phone. Crazy. What do we got? Three guys, four guys. Yeah, but it's annoying, man. This shit really bothers me. Who wants to sit and watch a live stream like this? It's crazy. It's this is Monday night is a good time for me because it's usually the day after the weekend and the racing and all that. And oh my God, this is terrible. Oh my God, now this fucking Steam is loading. I didn't ask for that. Okay, guys, so I hope the other guys that were in the room come. This is terrible, man. I think I'm gonna have to consider doing live streams on a different night. It's just usually the best time for me to live stream is the day after the race, which is Monday. I mean, if when I can live stream from home, no problem. This is so unreliable. I don't know. I rarely have a live stream from work that isn't a fucking mess. Fuck. And there was some I had to redo it. The whole chat from that was on before is gone. Fuck. All right, let's see. Let's just wait a couple. If a couple more people join, I'll continue. Not every flip is the same. Just because one guy barrel rolled and said it didn't hurt, every one is different. Welcome back, Die Hard. Oh, yeah. So we can expect the live stream to continue to be real up and down. So I'm gonna start. You guys let me know because if I should maybe move my live stream to a different night in the week when I'm home and do it from home, and we won't have these issues because this happens a lot when I do these Monday live streams. But you guys what do you guys think? Because this is unreliable, and I don't have another option other than to hotspot off my phone. So, if you guys think a different night would be better, but it's like it's weird for me to do a live stream, like let's say Wednesday night, and it's like several days after the race. It's like okay, it's old news by then. But let me know what you guys think. Let's see. 1200 says Blaney's crash was the worst. Hold on a second, guys. Maybe that's T-Mobile. Fucking no. Um, where was I? Oh, it says Blaney's crash was the worst of the year. He wasn't even hurt, so the car is much safer than we thought. Software also helped too. Yeah, I'll give NASCAR a lot of credit. That the fact that Priest could walk away from that fucking wreck, it tells you pretty much what you need to know. Like, this is insane. Look at this. To do that many barrel rolls in midair without touching the ground, that's insane. That's one of the scariest. I don't know too many crashes off the top of my head that just visually were scarier. Um, Now I'm gonna stop it right there. Hold on, no, not there. Hold on. I want to show you guys something. It's a byproduct. Now, if you look at the underside of this car, it's perfectly flat, and it gets a lot of downforce when the car is moving straight. The nose of the car up front, that splitter, and the way the air goes in and under the car, it's made to keep the car on the ground. The problem is when this car went sideways, it has the opposite effect. Okay, it actually creates lift when the car is like sideways. Hold on. I don't know if you guys, hold on a second. Boom. Right here. Right there, the car starts taking off. Just where the grass part is. Right there. It's just because he's on his side. The air is not meant to go under the car clean through the side of the car. The whole point of that flat underside with that tapered spacer up front is to suck the air under the car and then create, actually, think of an airplane's wings. It's meant to create lift. This is like a wing, but upside down. So instead of lifting the car, when the car is going straight, it pushes the car down into the track. But it doesn't work sideways. And that has created this insane. I thought I swear, when I was watching this, I thought he was dead. I said, there's no way anyone can survive that. It reminded me of that old Ryan Newman crash, not the one from a couple years ago where he was T-boned. That was terrible too, but the one from way back in the day when he drove the Alltel 12 car and that car was flipping. Um, this is crazy. This is insane that somebody can walk away from this. So I have to give NASCAR credit. And yeah, the Ryan Blaney crash, the whole nose was crushed in. They've done a tremendous job. You really can't ask much more from NASCAR. Like, they're doing everything they can possibly do. Here is the problem. There is a limit to what you can do to guarantee safety. You cannot guarantee that people are going to be safe. The other problem with this pack racing is where you see these crazy wrecks. I'm not saying this never happens at another track, but very rarely. When you have these guys wide open throttle, 2, 3 wide, inches apart, it's asking a lot of these guys to be able to hold on to the car and not make contact with each other and create wrecks. Most of the time, these wrecks are like the victims, they're not even the ones who created the wreck. Even the drivers, they know they're not supposed to push in the corner, yet we saw that constantly throughout the night. So you put these drivers in these situations, there's only so much you can do. What are you going to do? You're going to build a bubble, a big giant rubber ball for these guys to be in? There's no way you're going to guarantee safety to like 100%. It's just impossible. So NASCAR deserves a lot of credit. The fact that he could walk away from this, Ryan Blaney as well, right? But people, I think they've become desensitized to this shit. I think it's been such a long time before they've seen someone die that they're like, oh, that doesn't happen anymore. This isn't the NASCAR of 20, 30 years ago. I hate to break it to people. Someone is going to die at Daytona, Talladega, or now Atlanta. Pack racing is the worst, one of the worst things to ever happen. I don't understand what people find so fascinating about watching a conga line, 3 hours of a conga line. The only time you jump up from your seat is when there's a wreck. That's terrible. I don't want to see somebody die or end up paralyzed for the rest of their life. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Doesn't matter how safe you make these cars. And then there's people, like people say, hey, get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of the tapered spacer. Let them go, full fucking power. You know, I know that people think that that's going to fix things. That might be worse. People forget before the tapered spacer and all this other stuff that these guys were hitting extreme fucking speeds that were really too dangerous. Um, I don't know if that's the solution. I mean, I'm not a fucking engineering expert in this kind of in aerodynamics, but I don't know if more power and more speed is going to help. I know there's people that probably think, well, if you make them faster, they'll be harder to handle. These guys won't be able to fucking push each other. But that, you cannot predict these things. These drivers know they're not supposed to push in the corner, and yet they do it. I've seen it countless times during the race. Bell got into fucking Blaney. Blaney did nothing wrong. And thank God he walked away from that. I fucking hate pack racing. I don't find it entertaining. And I damn sure don't want to see these big wrecks. I still view NASCAR as a sport. I don't want it to be a fucking circus. Every time they come to one of these tracks, it's a fucking circus. I fucking hate it. This race was a 5 out of 10, and I'm being kind. Yes, there were a couple of decent moments. Listen, the last 5 laps of all these races is always great. Why? Because it's coming to a conclusion. You don't know who's going to win until the last corner. And everybody's going for broke. And there's always in the back of your mind that big wreck that's going to happen. That all combined makes it exciting for all the wrong reasons. But you can't take the last couple of laps and say that was great and that means it was a great race. I cannot sit through 3 hours of a conga line and then say, oh, it was great because those last 5 laps were so exciting. And it's a crapshoot. Anybody can win. And all I can say about the race is one, thank God nobody got a serious injury. And two, thank God we didn't get a win in you're in guy to kick Bubba Wallace out. Because I don't care what anyone says, Bubba Wallace earned his way in the playoffs. Honestly, even though he hasn't won a race this year, this has been his most consistent year. He has been really good. Like he's really the only time like he's had races he could have actually won this year and was pretty strong. And towards the later part of the race, they kind of lost the handle, whatever. But this happens. This is a part of growing. Um, I don't think people can honestly him at this point. Like he's been pretty solid, um, consistent, and he got in on points, and that's the way it should be. I still think 16 cars in a field, a playoff field, is ridiculous. It's almost half the field. It's a joke, but you know, it is what it is, and I'm glad he didn't get kicked out. Throughout the race, they kept showing these guys that could get in, win and you're in. It was like 9 different fucking drivers. And out of there were at least 6 that so he was in danger throughout the race of getting like one of these winning you're in guys that could have easily won. You had Eric Almirola. That guy did. He's had a terrible year. All these most of those guys that could get in with the win, uh, it was ridiculous. How many of them had really just haven't had good years. And Bubba Wallace has been consistent. Say what you will, and he has had really strong runs for the most part. And with a little luck, he's had a lot of bad luck with that pit crew, but he could have been even better, right? Um, okay, that's it. Outside of those two guys not getting hurt and Bubba Wallace not getting like losing that playoff spot because of that winning you're in gimmick, which would have been a fucking terrible look for NASCAR. Outside of that, I just fucking hate this shit. I don't get it. And people talk so much about safety, how much they care. Maybe we should look at walking away from these tracks. And I know that's blasphemy. I know people are going to disagree with me. That's fine. But I don't see the racing at these tracks being so great that they can't walk away. It's they've walked away from better tracks, better racing. This new car at Chicagoland would have been fantastic. They're changing Auto Club. One of the best races in the past couple of years with this car has been amazing. Okay? See what this car does on that track before we completely just walk away. They got rid of the Brickyard, which was considered a crown jewel. They walked away from that. They're not afraid to walk away from any track. Okay? So what's so special about Daytona and Talladega that they can't say, you know what? The racing this racing is a joke. It's way too dangerous. Somebody's gonna die. I'm just don't say you weren't warned. And I've said this in the past. We're just lucky that these guys haven't been killed or permanently injured. This is luck, a lot of it. Yes, NASCAR deserves credit, but I don't want to see somebody die. Forgive me if I'm saying, does NASCAR really need Daytona and Talladega and Atlanta? Maybe if disconnecting, man. Oh my God, this fucking internet. Sorry, guys. We're gonna soldier on through. I want you guys to let me know, please, if it's better if I do the live stream on a different night. And if I'm talking about the race and it's a few days old past, so be it. I'm not sure I should do live streams from work anymore. I can't keep doing this with the fucking live stream cutting out. So if you think maybe on a Wednesday night or a different night, I could do it then, and you don't mind that the fucking race happened, several days earlier, I could do that. I never, and honestly, I said I wasn't going to do race reviews every week. Like, I didn't want to commit to that. And somehow this year I've been doing it. I don't know if I want to commit to doing that, but I could still do a weekly live stream. But I think a different night, doing it from home, might be better. It might be better. Even a Friday night, right? Um, Tuesday night isn't good. Tuesday night, I come into work here. That's why I don't like Wednesday night. I'm pretty open. Thursday night, Friday night. So yeah, it just sucks. I don't want people to sit through a fucking live stream that keeps buffering and cutting out. Um, and the only way I can live stream is using the hotspot. So just I really think I might move it to Wednesday, Thursday, or a Friday night. Whatever is best for you guys, just let me know. I can't keep doing this Monday night shit. This is terrible. I mean, how many times have I done a excuse me, a live stream and it actually went through without a hiccup? It's just too ongoing, and I think I'm better off just live streaming from home. I'll read a few comments before we get to class. I'm gonna take a risk and do Project 94's video. Um, I just don't. I don't want it to get cut off while it's happening. All right. So okay, hold on. Mark Forget. That's not the tapered spacer. That's the rear diffuser. The tapered spacer replaced the old restrictor plate. Die Hard. My parents saw that flip live in person. Oh shit. Yeah, that's got to be crazy, man. Rear diffuser sucks balls. The whole listen, man. This car is everything they do to it. It's arrow, because that's what you get at Daytona, Talladega, and Atlanta now. That's not real racing, guys, in my opinion. When you're stuck in a conga line, this whole fuck. I'm not gonna rehash this whole shit. I've talked about this ad nauseum many times before. I'm done. That's what I thought of the race. It's just another restrictor plate race. I don't get the fascination people have with it, and I don't think it's worth the risk. Every race is dangerous. Before anyone points that out, I get it, and danger has always been a part of racing. But can we agree that this particular form of racing is different? It's more dangerous. It's the one place where people actually coined the phrase the big one. You don't hear about that anywhere else. About the, ooh, we're going to get, when is the big one going to happen? That's always been a thing here. And I promise you, if you was to take a vote from every driver, how many drivers would actually um say they enjoy coming here and racing this type of race? I think a lot of them don't like it, and they're forced to do it. It's crazy. Austin says, I'll never understand what people see in pack. Yeah, I don't get it, man. It's a fucking boring conga line. It's not real racing. Austin, it was a bore fest and a shit show. Yeah, I agree. I see people praise like this was a great race. Oh my God, they were three wide and blah, blah. When you are stuck in a pack and you can't do anything by yourself, that's not real racing. It just isn't. It's call it what you want. It's like, it's just a blender. And if you survive that blender and you can win. Anybody can win. Hot dog says it increases pack racing increases opportunities. Yeah, you don't see anywhere else this type of fucking bullshit. The carnage that you see at Daytona and Talladega is unmatched. You can tell me all you want, and the type of wrecks, these cars that go airborne, flipping. Remember the catch fence? Remember that fucking? I think it was Austin Dillon. His fucking engine ended up in the grandstands. That can. I don't care. I know people think that this is a thing of the past. This can't happen anymore. This flip, I guarantee you, most people would have said this new car, the way it's designed, the way that all the things NASCAR has learned, that you're not going to see that anymore. These cars just don't go airborne. You can't predict this shit. When you're going this fast and you have this much room between cars, you're playing with lives. And I'm telling you, I've seen cars go in the catch fence. Doesn't anybody remember when that fucking engine was in the grandstands? Somebody's gonna die, and it might be somebody that's not even a driver. It could be somebody in the grandstands, man. It's crazy. I don't understand why can't they walk away racing in general and just say, you know what, this shit has run its course. One, it's too dangerous. Two, it's just really not that entertaining. Like it's a conga line of cars. I don't get it. It's 1200 HP pack racing is good, but would be better, even better unrestricted. I don't listen, man. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm not convinced that giving these guys even more power is gonna be better. I mean, it might be more dangerous. I don't know, man. If you told me you can make it where these cars don't get in a pack, there was a time when the pack racing. You guys can go look back at old races from the 70s and 80s. Yes, aero played a big role, but these cars were spread out. Handling mattered. This shit where they're glued in a conga line, this when did this start? I think this started in the late 80s, right? I'm in. Let's see what they can do. But if you can't go back to that and somehow make it where the aero package on these cars does not let these cars suck up and get glued like bumper to bumper, it's time for NASCAR to walk away. Somebody's going to die. I promise you. And then people will say, well, NASCAR needs to do this to make it safer, do that. And God bless them, they have done a yeoman's work to increase safety. But you can't guarantee, right, uh, people's safety. Jonathan says, I will say it takes a lot to get the next gen car to look this also to get the next gen car to look this. Also, I think the start of the flip is the same as Harrison Burton's Daytona. I've seen how many times have we seen a fucking wreck at Daytona or Talladega and we're sitting there thinking, I hope this guy's alive. I understand there's a danger to racing. We all accept that. The drivers understand that. But I'm not sure that they volunteer to sign up. Like, yes, nobody's got a gun to their head, but you are a contracted driver. This is part of the circuit. I'm telling you, I there has to be some drivers out there that dread coming here, and it's just like it's Russian roulette. I hope I'm okay at the end of this. And every time we watch one of these races, you hear drivers say things like, they can't badmouth the product. They're not allowed to really be 100% honest. All right, guys, I don't want to take all night with this. It's already 9 o'clock. I got a late start. Let's move on. Connected. Fuck you. Connected. Fuck you. Oh my God. Why is this popping up? Stop. Oh my God. Let me read a few more comments. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. All right. So before we get to this, let me read a few more comments. Let's see. I can't read every comment because I want to get to this video. Let's see. JC, welcome. I like it as long as it isn't oversaturated and no one gets hurt. The tumble was epic and the racing was fun to watch. Um, well, there's always going to be a big up chance that you're going to see somebody's going to get hurt or die. It's going to happen at some point. Um, 1200 HP, a lot of gimmicks going on, and they're just trying to sell crappy products instead of focusing on the competition. That's a good point. TV ratings is keeping this type of racing around. Mark Forget. Yep, I get it. They had good ratings, I guess, and they filled the stands. Like, I don't know if they were 100% full, but they had a good crowd. People like it. I don't. And it's not going to change. I mean, they're going to keep doing it. Somebody's going to die eventually, and I don't know what else to tell you. You can try Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, let me know. Keep Wednesday, Thursday works. Yeah, I can't keep doing this on Mondays, and this is unreliable, and it's gonna keep. Yeah, I'm better off doing the live streams from home. And if I'm talking about a race that's 3 days old, so be it. I can't do this Monday night anymore. Die Hard says Newman won at 2003 Daytona 500. Yeah, that was insane. It's a shame someone like Harvick doesn't have a top 10 fastest car. What if racing? Welcome. I'm burned by NASCAR lately, but I'm glad no joke winner took Bubba's spot. Yeah, that's to me, that was the biggest takeaway. The last thing I wanted was, and they showed you throughout the race, the same like nine guys, just like, ooh, these guys, any one of these, if they win tonight, they're in. And then you saw six of them, they were always in the top 10 up front. So I'm like, I really thought he was going to get booted. And I was glad that I never like all the footage I've ever seen. It's like it's Earnhardt Daytona. That was his place. But it wouldn't shock me if he hated it. It wouldn't shock me. Like I don't know why, as a driver, you'd want to be in that blender. And it's not based on. It's just anybody can win. Diehard says amazing race, tons of different leaders. There's always a ton of leaders at Daytona Talladega. That's how it works. They're just like, I mean, well, you do get guys that can block and stay up front, but I don't care how many leaders you got. It's a shuffle of fucking aerodynamics. It's just, I'm not impressed with that. All right, I can't read all the comments, guys. I got to get to this video. If you 1200 says if you don't like pack racing, I recommend F1. No, I just recommend no fucking pack racing. Like I don't like it. It is what it is. That doesn't mean I'm going to go watch Formula One. I don't like road courses. I don't like open wheel cars. So just because I don't like pack racing doesn't mean I need to go watch Formula One. Oh my God. You had to get Noah in there. Free Noah. They can speak their mind. Plenty have. Yeah, but NASCAR has also had a bone to pick with these guys. It depends on what it is. Um, Nobody's telling them what to say, and nobody's putting a gun to their head. But I do think that NASCAR steps in. If they say something that they feel is, hurts the fucking image of NASCAR or the product, they don't just stand there and without doing anything. Diehard says, I thought it's at worst a concussion. I honestly thought for a second there he was dead. I said, this guy, there's no one of the most brutal wrecks I've seen in a long time. Like I said, I remember Austin Dillon in the catch fence, the fucking engine in the fucking grandstands. Like the car was torn to shreds. It's like, how do you walk away from shit like that? You only see that at Daytona Talladega. Viper, welcome. I enjoyed the race other than the boring single file and the two major wrecks. I was concerned for Priest Blaney due to safety of these cars that we've seen. I get your criticism of plate racing, though. You make valid points. You want a taste of reality? Go watch Gordon Smiley's crash and research the details. I don't know what you mean. Like, does that change anything I said about the dangers of Daytona Talladega? Just because you found another wreck that's brutal? I didn't say it's the only brutal race. The most of the worst wrecks we've ever seen are always at Daytona Talladega. Just because you find some random other ones that were just as brutal doesn't change that fact. Pack racing is by far the most dangerous. I'm done. Let's get to Project 94's video. And hopefully we don't get a disruption. This thing is fucking all over the place. I apologize, guys. I do invite people to go watch.
We've talked about presentation. and not necessarily needing the NASCAR license to make a good stock car game. In Chapter 3, we're going to be talking about one of the most important features of a NASCAR game. It is a feature that keeps the players coming back for more. Here it is, folks. Chapter 3, Customization Matters. Welcome to Episode 3 of How to Improve NASCAR Video Games. Today's topic is going to be about customization. Customization is what allows players to make the in-game aesthetics as possible to appeal to their players. Everything from custom paint schemes to custom drivers to even custom helmets and fire suits. It adds some extra fun to the gaming experience. There is nothing like seeing your own custom car and custom driver that you created in the mix with the actual cars and drivers on the racetrack. However, recent NASCAR titles have been fairly limited with some of these options, and we only recently were starting to see features like the paint booth return after being absent for 5 years. After being promised 5 years that the paint booth was coming with 704, which never did, by the way. I didn't add that sentence in there, did I? We are going to discuss how we can make the NASCAR gaming experience more customizable for the players. But firstly, we have to ask ourselves this question. So, what things can we customize? What things should we be able to customize in a NASCAR game? Here's a list of basic things that we should be able to customize in a NASCAR game. 1. The cars and paint schemes. 2. The drivers. 3. The fire suits and helmets. And of course, lastly, the race shop. How can we customize these things? Let's take a look one by one, slide by slide, of how we can implement these forms of customization into a NASCAR game. So let's start off with, how can we customize the cars? Option number 1. Let's start off with perhaps the most important thing to customize in any racing game, the cars. There are a few ways you can go about customizing the cars. Option number 1, which is what this slide covers, have a fully fleshed out paint booth with a broad selection of...
I'll get back to it. This fucking thing. All right, back to class.
Sponsors, shapes, color options, and number fonts. This will allow for full in-depth customization of your race car and the ability to create anything you can imagine, from replica schemes to full-on fantasy schemes. The possibilities are endless. The only negative of a fully fleshed out...
Sorry, this thing is a 0 again. I don't want you guys to miss anything. Oh my God. This is my last Monday live stream, guys. I'm not doing Mondays anymore. All future live streams are going to be in the middle of the week. Whether it's Wednesday or Thursday, I'll figure it out. I think Wednesdays is going to be the new thing. I can't do this anymore at work. It's terrible. And I don't want you guys to sit through a crappy fucking live stream. I have to have the worst quality fucking live streams in the history of YouTube. All right.
Out paint booth is that it is not very user friendly and takes a lot of time and practice to get good at. It may take a few paint schemes before you are fully satisfied with your work. And here's what the paint booth from the Technics games looked like, and here's the video itself. And the reason why I'm showing this paint booth is it's because it's one of the better examples of how the paint booth... Let me just lower that down so I don't get copyright struck. Here's what the paint booth from the Technics games looked like. So as you can see, it was an in-depth, fully customizable car in the paint booth. You can use any shapes, any sponsor, any number to create your very own custom.
Give me a minute, guys. This fucking live stream, my God. This hotspot is ass. On Mondays anymore. So from now on, I'm going to try to do the live streams on Wednesday night. I could do it from home. I got perfect. I can't do this. I can't be going through this. This shit is driving me insane. And I don't know what you guys are missing when this thing is getting cut off. Um, Even the video quality is terrible because of the fucking. Here we go. It's showing 0 again. No fucking way am I doing any more live streams from work. This is the last Monday live stream. From now on, Wednesday night. God damn, it keeps going down to 0. Oh my God. It goes from like 3,000 to fucking 0 and then back. All right, we're back. Let's go back to the fucking video. This will be the last live stream you guys to suffer through with this fucking shitty internet. From now on, Wednesday night.
So as you can see, you can change the color of the car. You can change the rims, the spoiler, the fins, and all that kind of stuff. Pretty much, common sense things. I should be able to paint the wheels and spoiler and the body any color that I want.
The best,
so as you guys can tell, you have full in-depth selection of what color you want it to be.
I spent more time making
what
paint
shade
schemes than I did
basic
racing.
options that should already be in a paint booth. But for those who don't know what this looks like, here it is. And you could also see that you can change the paint finish, something that's actually been ignored quite a lot. As you can see, metallic, gloss,
they did a great
flat,
job with the paint booth.
Any paint finish you can imagine is an option. So that should be something in these games, which it hasn't been for a while. And of course, here's your basic shape selection. You should be able to drag your shape around any area of the car. Any shape that you pick, you can create stripes or just flames or any abstract shapes can be added to the car as well. So yeah, basically, you should already have this stuff. I mean, this is basically what you would get with a fully fleshed out paint booth. And if there's anywhere else I could show it.
All right, just give me a second. Every time this starts, it's back to 0. Fucking Christ, man. I want to break this fucking laptop. Good Lord, man. I just want to do one fucking live stream without a problem. Jesus.
This paint booth feature being used. Just look at the diverse option of shapes you have in this. There are lots of different shapes and different stripes you could add. There's even gradient. So as you can tell, this decal right here, they added as gradient. You should be able to do that. But just look at the options. Look at all these flame options. And they're literally in categories. So it could be stripes, tribal. Of course, this one in particular is flames. And look at all the, look, it even has flames 1. There's multiple categories of the same style design. Of course, this guy's going to pick one and add, which he's going to add on both sides, by the way. And it should be easy to paste all the decals on the left to be the same on the right.
That's the only thing.
And make sure that the decals are nearly the same on both sides, just being flipped for left.
The only negative of the paint booth, it wasn't the most user friendly. It really took a long time to do a paint scheme because they gave you a ton of options, but it wasn't easy to navigate. It's just they could have streamlined it better just to make it simple for people. But the options were there. It just took a long time.
And right, it shouldn't be that difficult as it's been in the most recent NASCAR games. I should be able to take this design that I'm looking at right here and exactly mirror it to the other side. Just should be that exact, all these exact same movements on the other side. You should be able to just work on one and paste it to the other. And it should save the exact proportions and everything. But look at that. Fully customizable assets paint scheme. So, man, you can even add gradient to the individual decal. And I keep pushing this back for some reason. But look at that. You can add gradient to individualized decals, something that's been missing from a lot of customization booths in these games, paint booths. But this is the way it should be. You should be able to in-depth customize every aspect of each shade of paint and each decal pretty much like all other racing games. Most other racing games don't really use templates. They're mostly using Paint Booth, the full-on Paint Booth with all the decals and customization you can imagine. And as someone like me that likes to create paint schemes in these games and just designing paint schemes in general, this is the way it should be done. So I'm pretty sure you guys are already familiar with the Technics Paint Booth. And look at that, you could even remove the headlights and all that stuff. So like that, when you put the decals on, you can get an idea of how it's going to line up. Or you could just leave everything off entirely. I don't know why like this out of their game, but you'd be surprised. So how can we customize the cars? This is the second option. So we're going to be talking about option number 2. It's a template-based system.
I don't mean to laugh. Every time I hear that music in the background, it just gives it that feel of being in like one of these mandatory classes where you're watching a slideshow. It's perfect. I love it. It's just I find it funny. So every time I hear the music kick on, that's why I'm laughing. So, but great job by Project 94. So definitely after I would suggest people go watch it on his channel. Give him a like. Let him know I sent you. He deserves it because I know this live stream is ass. So we'll keep moving forward, but the best thing to do is go watch it yourself on his channel.
For customization. This should include a maximum of about 50 templates and maybe 10 or 20 different number font options. Include unlimited color options for the color scheme, wheels, for the number. Make it an option to change the size of the decals, such as the numbers and sponsors on the car, which was seen on SRX the game. Be able to add textures to the colors on a template. It could be anything, metal plating, gradients, zebra stripes, etc. Add these features to the existing template system, and the customization for this system will be improved dramatically. And shout out to Disco Inferno. We're gonna use. I hope he doesn't get mad at me for using this video in this video. But honored. This was his video talking about the template system and how limited it was.
Hold on, guys.
This is from a couple years ago.
Let me pause it. I want to make sure you guys catch this part. It's dropping to 0. All right.
As you guys can see, much an overview of how a template system would work. So basically, this is the way it was out of the box, okay? This is what we got from the beginning. We only got a handful of templates and a handful of number fonts. But the number fonts were just really unimaginative and really uncustomizable. They didn't really add on this stuff until NASCAR Heat 5. But this is a picture of NASCAR Heat 4, or just a video of NASCAR Heat 4 of what we had to begin with. You're about to see how limited these options are and how drab and just plain looking. It's just more stripes, swooshes, slashes, very unimaginative, basic 1980s looking templates that just don't fit the modern era. I mean, they're not bad looking, but the days of following body contour lines with a thin paintbrush were over in the 1970s, man. And just like a lot of these schemes are just literally, I mean, that one's not too bad. It's got a round look to it. But it's still bland. All of these literally look like super old paint schemes, man. We need to have more abstract looking designs. Like give us like super gradient finishes and just get away from these basic stripes, swooshes. Some of them get better as you go through it, but most of the time it's bland. It's just really unimaginative, and they really need to add more templates. They did add some more in Heat 5, but it was basically more of the same. There really needs to be better looking templates. And of course, it should already be obvious. You need to give us more number fonts. Give us ways to customize the outline. Let us have chrome shades numbers. Give us the option to color the wheels any way we want to. And of course, give us the ability, like in SRX, unfortunately, I don't have a video of the SRX customization, but in that game, see how they give it a texture to it. They had, metal plating, they had like stars. basically like small shapes and different like ways. You can almost make it look like a shade. Like not even just shades, like full on like patterns. Unfortunately, I can't show it on here, but just imagine like a bunch of tiny little like stars all over that pink right there, guys. Like just imagine how that looks, or just any other pattern you can think of should be added to the game. We shouldn't be asking why basic things are missing. You should be able to color the wheels any color, the spoiler any color. Like the spoilers in NASCAR 84 were always this generic black color. And of course, there's no options for the paint finishes either. So you can't have gradient. You can't have like metallic, gloss. I mean, it already comes metallic, but it's honestly the most basic form of gloss we got here. They don't even give us metallic or matte in NASCAR Heat 4. NASCAR 85 gives us the matte finishes, but really only 2 options in 5 games. We don't even have metallic. We don't have sparkle. And I get it. NASCAR doesn't have painted cars anymore. But the idea is you should still be giving us the option anyway. But yeah, guys, I feel like you guys have an idea of how this paint booth works. And also, you see all the licensed sponsors. Don't be afraid to give us more fictional sponsors, but we've already discussed that in the last episode, but somehow work that into the customization. But you guys make this an option for people, which is what I'm going to get into with the next slide, which I was really excited to show this to you guys. My idea of how you can improve the customization. Why not make it an option to choose which way you would like to customize the cars? Would you like to use the template system to create the game? Or would you like to use the fully fleshed out paint booth? You can set up this option like this. Select Novice level to use the template system, or select the advanced level to use the paint booth. Have the customization menu set up like this, and you should be good to go. Meaning that if you clicked the template system right here, you're gonna get all the templates, all the customization stuff we talked about with that system.
Yeah.
But if you click on the advanced level, you're gonna get obviously you're gonna get the fully fleshed out paint booth.
Because I know there are people that don't enjoy making their own paint scheme. Like whether it's too difficult for them or it's just something they don't care about. That's a great thing. Like just have a simple template option type of paint booth, or have the full blown, like be able to create a lot more. Like just be more creative where you can do more. Like something closer to like the Utechnics paint booth. Yeah, so good point.
You should be able to get all of that type of customization. And even this car has like texture to it. This system, and make it an option for the paint booth. I've been dying to show this idea to people for years, and now that I have this YouTube series, this is my idea that's been in the back burner for so long, and here's my idea for everyone to see finally on YouTube. This same format can be used when creating custom helmets and fire suits. Select the Novice level to use the template system, or select the advanced level to use the paint booth. Yes, you can add a paint booth to the fire suits. The same way you would customize the car, adding shapes, stretching things, changing color.
Same thing I've talked about through the years. Why can't you customize your fucking helmet and your fire suit? Yeah, the Heat games later on, they gave you templates and shit like that, but again, the most basic form. You know, you should be able to make fucking crazy looking helmets and fire suits.
Colors. Helmets and fire suits should be exactly the same. Remember, the helmets and fire suits are just as important as the cars you design. Other racing types and the F1 series have allowed for this type of customization, so we should have it for this as well. As you can see, I know it's a real picture of Chase Elliott. Give us custom helmet like we had in SRX, same with the fire suit. Custom helmet, custom fire suit, the same style of the way you would do it with a paint booth. Give us like a helmet. Give us like a clothing booth, okay? So we can customize these things. So how can we customize the drivers, the individual drivers, the person you are playing as in the game? And you're going to see a lot of repeat ideas from Disco Inferno 70 pop up. The fire suits and helmets options, such as the height, size, nationality, name, and basic facial features of your character, including the eye color, hairstyle, etc. Just basic stuff we've been getting, right? You can create it from scratch, or you can go the EA 2K route. EA and 2K were the other sports developers. They have the ability, they give you the ability to face scan yourself in the game through an application of some kind. You can scan your face and you are in the game. Instead of doing it from scratch and using just a picture of yourself on the side to work on it, just like having like just a reference, it's gonna take too long, right? So let's not do that, okay? Add face scanning. This adds to the immersion that you are truly living in the world of the game because you're seeing yourself in the game. Should have this at this point.
And that's one of the reasons I enjoy like NBA 2K. Like to play as myself and it looks just like me and I'm in the game. The technology's there, and I'm quite frankly shocked more games haven't tried to implement it. I know it might be difficult for like an adventure game or kind of a open world type game, but for sports games where you have cutscenes and there's only a few times well, actually you're on the court. Your image is there the whole time. It's amazing. A NASCAR game isn't even as demanding because you're usually wearing a helmet, and when you're in the car, yourself is during an interview, pre-race, post-race at the race shop, any other presentation in the game. So it should be easier to implement because when you're in the car, you're wearing a helmet in real time. This should be something that's very doable.
But of course, we don't. How can we customize the race shops? And I left this for last because this has got to be one of the most in sections of the shop, wherever you would like. And even customize how the race shop environment, there's templates for that as well you can add. You can click and drag your wind tunnel here, or you can move your engine shop there, maybe display some cars in this area, or maybe put the paint shop over here. There are lots of ways you can implement, or lots of options you can implement for how you can, customize a shop. How about a trophy room where you can view your trophies from races that you have? Maybe you can keep some of the cars you've won with. And what I mean by that is, real life drivers do this. Whenever they win a race, they usually are able to keep the cars if they're not reusing the setup for the next race, so they can show it in like a museum with the confetti and all that stuff. That's never been done before, so that's just an idea. Why not add this to a NASCAR game? And you guys are about to see what I'm talking about with these custom race shops. As you can see, Gear Club Unlimited was the game I pulled this idea from. So we're about to show you guys how it can be done. So I have the video here, right? Here's what I'm expecting, or what I mean when I'm talking about race shop customization. So let's click on this. You guys are going to be pretty surprised as NASCAR fans. So here's the guy that made the video. This is what I'm talking about. This is a fully custom race shop. This guy,
wow,
literally got all the props, got all the options. Look at that. You can display all your cars. Just imagine displaying all the you made and having an area to show them off. Like if you have a 4-car team, you could show off
as well. Dealing with sponsors, you could deal with fans. How about having an autograph booth where you meet your fans. I'm not saying you're going to sit there for an hour signing autographs, but you can just go there, click on something, and then you completed a certain thing, and it helps you with your fan base or merchandise sales, right? All of this can happen at the race shop, and you have sponsors. I mean, it's just cool little things that you can add.
Of course, you have a little entertainment area. Stuff like this can be made unlockables. Like if you win in-game credits, you get more options to customize your shop. He's got a little arcade going on. He's got a golf in there, couches, places for your staff to chill out when the day is done. I mean, look at all this stuff. Look at all the ways you can customize, and you can move.
This is crazy.
like I said, I hope he shows it again. Like, see all those race shops back there? Like the engine shop, the paint shop, the tire shop.
Wow.
You pretty much can move and customize all of these things and even level up. So, like, you will start off with a pretty bland looking race shop, okay? Like, if you start out with a level 1, like, engine shop or a level 1 tire shop, it's going to be, you're going to be limited to how well you can improve your car and how it's going to look and all that stuff. Each aspect of the race shop can be upgraded slowly. You can add more of this kind of stuff that you're seeing, improve the shops themselves, which you can see in the background. Like, all this stuff, you can level them up so you can pretty much improve the rate that your cars get better. So if you get a better engine shop, you're going to get faster cars. But you have to earn your way. You spend money on in the race shop. If you spend most of it on how it looks, you're probably not going to succeed. At the beginning of the career mode, you're going to end up with a shop that slowly gets better and better performance-wise. And then if you make enough money on the side, you can add this other kind of stuff.
This is crazy.
That you see. I mean, look how cool that arcade is, man. And like, just everything in there.
I think I saw Daytona.
Just imagine a NASCAR game with this type of customizable race shop. Because other games have it, particularly Gear Club. And it's so rewarding whenever you make enough money, you can add more things to your race shop and just look how cool. This guy has his entire car collection on display. Now, of course, NASCAR doesn't race these type of cars. These are more street and like race car prototypes. I'm just talking about like just your NASCARs. Have some in the race shop. Have a chassis sitting in each of your race shops. Like an engine shop. You know, pretty much all the shops we discussed. But yeah, guys, I wanted to show this because you guys probably never seen Gear Club before. I've played Gear Club before all around with the presentation, but at least you have this. This on its own is presentation, having a race shop in there.
I agree.
So that's what I mean. I mean, look how cool it is. And like on display, you saw all those cars that were on display. Maybe those cars could be new paint schemes that are coming out for your race team.
Yeah, sounds good.
Or you're going to display cars that have won races. Like, let's just say this car's sitting here. I know this is a Mercedes AMG. Just pretend like that's my Daytona 500 winning car, and I wanted to show that to people. You know, maybe older cars from previous seasons. These are things that would add so much to the race shop and make you excited to head back to your shop after you get done with a race. Some presentation in the race shop with all the things we discussed earlier, like negotiating the contracts and the sponsors and just like hiring and firing and doing business. This custom race shop that you made, just like the driver, can be shown off in the presentation. And yeah, guys, if you have $3 million to spend like this guy does, you're going to have a pretty cool race shop for yourself. So how can we customize the race shops? We've already discussed that, so we're just going to go straight to the conclusion. In conclusion, one of the reasons why these NASCAR games haven't felt immersive is because the customization for the in-game assets was limited. For many years, many of these ideas have been overlooked in NASCAR gaming, while other racing titles have taken advantage of these effective customization options with their titles. You can and should absolutely give players these options to truly make their game their own. Some people may even spend more time customizing than playing the actual game. That's not the worst problem to have, right? Especially if it makes the main features of the career mode more immersive and relatable to you. So we've reached the end. So, don't you think that these customization features would add more to the experience overall? Please respond in the chat. Any more ideas? Thank you for your participation. If you chose to participate in this Disco Inferno 70 live stream, which is my goal is to get this video in that. Yeah. I know this video wasn't 100% perfect. Like I said, I'm working on getting my commentary back together again. It's not perfect. Same with the slideshow. I can't screen record still, but hey guys, at least I was able to get the point across.
You're doing fine. So
thank you all for checking this out. Hopefully you guys agree with a lot of my ideas. Once again, thanks for liking and subscribing these videos and following along. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts.
So, guys, go check out Project 94's channel. Go watch the video there. I know that this video didn't come across super clear on my this fucking live stream, but that's it. I'm not doing another live stream on Monday nights because doing it from work it's unreliable. So I apologize for that. But great presentation video. I agree with all this stuff. I've been talking about it for years. These things are so basic and they've been missing from games for such a long time. And there's just no excuse not to have it. This is the bare minimum. So, I the face scan thing, I understand it is a bit involved. And just to come up with that, it takes a lot of research and investment. Unless they want to go to like 2K and somehow maybe buy I guess the knowledge of how to make that work from them, or fucking no, that's above my head. But that's just an example of one of the things that make the career mode in Take Two's games, right? Like NBA 2K, so interesting. And yeah, so go check out the video, give them a like, let them know I sent you. Good job again. Um, yeah, so I talked about the race. We went through this. I don't know what else. There's much else to talk about tonight. Um, I'm gonna stay on for a couple. This stream has been terrible when it comes to just the connection. I still see it bouncing all over the place. Then it goes to zero. Then it goes back. I can't do this anymore. So let me look at a few more comments before I go. I can't read all. There's a lot of comments. Uh, let's see. 1200 HP says little known fact. People love to see crashes and fires. Reason you watch NASCAR, then I really don't care. Austin says Kyle Larson's crash in the Xfinity Series. Yeah, man, I don't remember that one. 1200 HP. If you don't like pack racing, I recommend it. Okay, I already read that. JC says Chris Buescher is a teddy. I don't think they're just going to them and saying you can't say this or you have to say that. But I do think they kind of they break balls with certain things. All right. I read some of these already. Yeah, I read most of these. Diehard says Ty Gibbs wrecked pretty good, but nobody cared. uh, the guy's head got ripped off in the stands. Damn, what was that? It must have been with that Dylan crash. What if says Priest's crash was certainly the most violent of the Gen 7 era. Dylan's was the worst that I saw in my lifetime. Yeah, I can't believe you would think after that they would reconsider fucking Daytona altogether or Talladega. Um, I don't think anything's gonna stop. They're gonna keep doing it. Diehard says it was Charlotte. Larson was worse. JC says some guy dying in a wreck 30 years ago doesn't make anyone dying in a wreck now okay. That is not acceptable by any means. I agree. Viper says the '09 Edwards Dega crash could have ended badly. Damn near went over the fence. We've lucked out. Nobody got killed, getting killed from some of these wrecks. Yeah, I agree. Cool Cat. What if was having a similar issue the other night? Yeah, I guess with the live stream, but I can't do this from work anymore. This is just unreliable. 1200 says Blaney's crash was the worst. Priest's crash was nothing compared to Blaney's. Anyone who says otherwise is going off opinion and not science. Heat 5 was the dollar store version of the NASCAR game. JC, considering the rapid down motion of Priest's flips that are capable of causing spinal injuries, with Bowman, Almirola, along with rigid bodies, his was definitely worse. Yeah, I don't want to get into this back and forth about what was worse, what. I'm just telling you guys, the worst wrecks I've seen usually come at Daytona and Talladega. They happen more often and they're more brutal for the most part. All right, guys. I think it's a good time to. Oh, Andrew, welcome. What did I miss? Yeah, I we did the another video from Project 94, third chapter customization. I would suggest go watching the video on Project 94's channel because my live stream tonight was all over the place. This so with that being said, I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you guys for sitting through this. I know it's tough to watch a live stream where the fucking connection's all over the place, but from now on, I'm gonna try to do live streams on Wednesday nights. I don't want to commit to anything, um, but if I'm gonna